Sleepy Joe has been in and out of the media. He's been tripping. He's been mumbling. He's been stumbling. Oh, yeah, he's falling asleep, too. Let's not forget that. He's squinting his eyes. He can't see. He act like he need glasses, but he wanna sleep. And we get it. He's old. All right, but that's no excuse. If you're old, step aside, man. If you're old, step aside, because the people is looking for a guardian savior right now, and you are not it. In my opinion, you are not it. Trump is not it either, but Biden is definitely not it. Let's tune into the video and see why Biden may actually lose this upcoming November. Let's tune in.
Steve Forbes, Steve, this train wreck of an interview on CNN where this stuff about Israel came out, Biden is being called out of touch. Steve, also in that interview, Biden tried to topspin his record 19% inflation, saying, quote, Americans have the money to spend. Aren't grocery prices up 30% on his watch? And in the battleground state of Wisconsin, up double digits where he gave that interview?
Just because you said shows how out of touch he is. And he tries to make people believe the inflation rate was high when he took office. It was 1.5%. It reached a peak of 9%. And if you include interest payments, which people have to make on mortgages, on car purchases, on credit card borrowings, the real price of cost of living went up 18% and still going up at a 7 or 8% rate today. That's why his ratings on the economy are in the tank. And every time he makes these crazy statements, people realize he is really losing it. And that's why he's going to lose the election, and he could even lose the nomination as he continues to deteriorate along with the economy.
So, Steve, let's watch what happened in that interview. And then we want to get your reaction to a small business owner in Wisconsin. Watch this.
Grocery prices are up 30%. That's a real day-to-day pain that people feel.
And it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend.
The people have the money to spend, but they complaining about spending the money? That don't make no sense. People they don't got the money to spend. All the money is going towards taxes, all these inflation, and everything is going up. Gas, groceries, rent, mortgages, home prices, cars, literally everything went up. Everything went up. And this man got on live television and told the people, it's not as bad as you think. You got the money in your bank account, just spend it. Okay, if that's your solution, okay. You got it, Biden. You got it.
Wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. The polling data has been wrong all along.
It's just a lot more challenges for any business owner these days.
Yes, everything costs more. I feel like it was better, easier for me 4 years ago.
I think he's making a terrible mistake. It may not be, if he doesn't win this race, it may not be Donald Trump that beats him. It may be his own pride.
It may be his own pride. That was David Axelrod.
Listen, I don't care what he's talking about. I'm talking about Biden. That's not it. That's not working. That's not working. You can't fool the people anymore. You can't get up on here and talk your talk like stuff is not happening in real life, like we ain't not feeling this stuff. Everybody's feeling it. You can go to the lowest of the lowest jobs to the highest of the highest job. Everybody got a complaint about inflation. And they going to always bring up the thing. Was it better 4 years ago? Think about it. Was it better 4 years ago? The majority of people will say yes. The majority of people are going to say yes. And if you don't say yes, it's because you literally just hate Trump. You hate him, and I get it. He's not the best character. He's not. But to say inflation was better 4 years ago than it is today is just an outright lie to the people, man. To the people. Let me know how you guys feel about this down in the comments below. Let's continue.
He's denying political reality, economic reality, and the polls. It's Quinnipiac, it's Pew, it's Gallup, it's Monmouth, it's Emerson, it's Harvard-Harris. It's a slew of polls showing that he is tumbling down into the 30s in approval ratings. Steve, this is at record lows where incumbents typically lose. I mean, Speaker Johnson is calling Biden's gaffes senior moments. I mean, Biden claimed inflation was 9% when he came into office. It was a quarter of that. Less than 1.5%.
Well, that's what is really going to sink him. He goes out. He's not using Bidenomics anymore. They finally convinced him that was not working, because every time people go buy something, every time a bill comes in, every time you try to rent an apartment, every time you try to get a mortgage, every time you try to do any economic activity, you realize things are worse off than 4 years ago. And they're making it worse with regulations, not letting you buy cars, traditional cars. They want to do away with that. So everything this administration is doing, whether it's a better quality of life, like air conditioners that work, or washing machines that work, dishwashers that work, they're against putting on crazy regulations. Prices are going up, and businesses are not making the investment needed for a higher standard of living in the future. So there are real headwinds out there, and this guy's oblivious to it, sitting in his shelter, basement, or whatever it is. And the American people sense it, and that's why he's going to lose. And that's why he has.
You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't keep lying to the people. You can't keep getting on the podiums and getting on live television and telling the people that inflation's not that bad. It's not that bad outside. You guys have the money. You guys are getting what you need out of me. You can't lie to the people. The people are feeling it. Everybody is feeling it. And this is what I was saying. At some point in time, people are going to get up and say, you know what? I can't do this no more. I can't do it. They're going to be mad. They're going to vote differently. Because they're going to realize, you know, you giving us false hopes and promises, man. And shout out to Biden, right? He done forgave a few people. He done forgave their student loans. But he made the entire country sign up for this student loan refund stuff. Made so many people sign up for it. Just for all of us to hear, we ain't getting it. We ain't getting it. And I'm not saying that would have it would have changed the scope of this entire situation. Maybe it would have. Honestly, maybe it would have. But at the end of the day, he swept the rug from right under us. A lot of people was looking forward to that free money. And you know what? It's not coming. It's not coming. It came to some people, but it's not coming to the majority. Like the majority of people who actually applied, trying to get their student loans forgiven, it's not coming. It's not coming. He promised us that. He promised us inflation would be down. He promised people would be seeing changes in gas prices. From the time Trump left office, I gotta be honest with you. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, this might not fly with everybody because we all living in different places. But from the time this man, Joe Biden, got in office, every single thing started going right back up. And the stock market, it did not do the same. It did not do the same. Recently it has. But at the beginning, it was not booming at all.
these terrible ratings. Things are not good, Joe.
The economy, is it in stagflation? I mean, the last read, 1.6%. There's a long list of Biden's failures. It's the economy, inflation, U.S. energy, Afghanistan, Iran, Israel, his border collapse. You wouldn't be surprised if people have PTSD from under this White House.
Well, the fact of the matter is everything he touches turns to you-know-what, starting with the Afghanistan withdrawal, which showed Putin that he thought he could get away with by invading Ukraine. You know that the Chinese are watching what we're doing with Israel. I think it was Kissinger. Henry Kissinger once said, it's bad to be an enemy of the United States, but sometimes worse to be an ally. And the Israelis are finding that out today at their moment of need, existential threat. This guy wants to pull the rug out from under him and help the terrorists, a terrorist invasion. He's helping these people. It just is bizarre, craven, cowardly, and profoundly wrong.
A final word, Steve. What do you make of him saying the White House wanted to delay the announcement it was stopping weapons shipments to a multi-generational U.S. ally, Israel, by the way, which is surrounded by 450 million people in 22 Arab nations. Israel is a population of 10 million. So what do you make of, basically him saying that, I'm not going to tell the American people I'm delaying the weapons shipments to Israel until after I make a Holocaust remembrance speech, as if that was going to paper over the problem?
He's trying to do it both ways instead of having the courage, like a Franklin Roosevelt, who took tough steps to prepare America for World War II, and other presidents who made tough decisions like Lincoln. And that's what leadership is about. And then he never explains to the American people what's at stake in Ukraine, Israel, and elsewhere. That's why he's floundering. The American people are disgusted with him.
Got it, Steve.
And talk that talk, man. Talk that talk, man. Ain't nobody falling for it, man. Ain't nobody believing in it no more, man. Let me know how you guys feel about that down in the comments below. I'd really, really, really like to know y'all thoughts. It seems like Biden is he still has a lot of core fans. He still has a lot of core followers. Of course, that's never going to change. But for those independent people that, didn't really have a choice, didn't really have a vote yet to give, a lot of people that I know that are independent are more swinging towards Trump than Biden, regardless of what he's dealing with legally, regardless of what he's dealing with every single day when it comes to the courthouse. They don't care. I'll tell you the truth. They don't care. The only way that they won't vote for him is if he's locked up in prison. And it's sad to say, but this is the two faces we dealing with. We dealing with someone who may just go to prison shortly, and someone who might go to the cemetery shortly. So it's a toss up. I'm just hoping that, whoever gets in next does do the job correctly, regardless of what. The American people are looking for something different, and it's not just about Trump and Biden. It's more about how can we make this place an elite country again. Honestly, how can we be the top dogs? How can we be respected again worldwide? How can we lower inflation? How can we get the groceries back in order? How can we raise minimum wages all across the board? How can we lower taxes for those middle class people and lower income people? How can we bring more jobs to the field? How can we lower college expenses? Everybody wants to go to college, but they don't realize when we go to college and you get out, you got a whole mortgage you got to pay back. And then you're trying to look for a mortgage. At the same time, you can't get a mortgage, so now you got to rent forever. It's a bad cycle. It's a bad cycle. But one thing that they're not telling you is how to beat this cycle. They're not going to tell you, and they won't ever tell you, because they want you to be stuck. They want you to be stuck knowing that they can't really help you. You have to help yourself. You have to help yourself. And that's why I look at politics and I'm just like, man, this is very entertaining. At the end of the day, regardless of who wins, regardless of what, I know for myself, I have to be doing my own thing. I have to be on my own grind. I have to be putting up my own money, putting up my own hustle. I have to get to it because I can't allow and I can't wait on the government to hand me out anything. I can't do it. It just does not work like that. I've never been built like that. I don't want any handouts. I appreciate the handouts. Like when we got that stimulus check, shoot, I was all up in the house just chilling. Just straight chilling. I'm not gonna lie. It was nice. I would do it again. But at the same time, I would never sit there and beg or ask the president, ask any government to hand out money. I'm just